Hey guys, it's your boy Pat. Welcome back to the next episode of the Hollow Down Cigar Lounge. We got two of the OG homies with us over here. We got Justino, as I've been calling him lately for absolutely no reason, and OG Chad down here. What's up, my man?
How you guys doing?
We're hanging tight. We, man, this is what I hope is going to be a fun show to smoke because we're bringing Aganorsa Leaf into the house today. And if anybody does not know Aganorsa Leaf,
Oh, nice
reach
hat.
back here, come around and slap yourself in the face a little bit and wake up because it's a really good brand. So Chad's even reaching for the sky to slap himself, right? Is that what's happening? Say
He's
yes.
just saying,
Yep.
praise Aganorsa, praise.
I was getting on the light here.
Yeah, it's still cold winter time, even post production. So, garage and tents is where it's at today. And I'm not even set up in my normal area because some things happened today. It's cold, wet, and rainy, and I didn't get to move things back over. So I'm also in the fishing tent today. But you know what? We're gonna rock and smoke either way. So
You're both sporting those really cool flags, by the way, which I don't have
yeah,
mine up yet.
this is the 3x5 hollow down flag you can get from the shop page. Justin's got his wide. I've got mine up and down, just for the hell of it. Um,
Got to
so look,
support the channel, man.
yeah, support the channel, man. Hey, man, I had to put mine up because if I don't have the big logo over here, I gotta have something.
I usually have my hollow down hat, but since we're doing Aganorsa,
I don't have an Aganorsa hat yet, or I would throw it on. So I'm just rocking the 22 Kill or One Tribe Nation, whichever brand you know them by, since they change names. But yeah, so let's introduce this cigar. So this is the Aganorsa Leaf Anniversary Maduro, and we'll see if Chad's gonna show up. I know mine won't show up because of the lights. I might get both of y'all. Let's see what happens here. So Chad's focusing up on that band right there, and then you got a little view from Justin's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So this band, as you can see, has a lot of silver foil on it. It looks incredible, which from my perspective is just going to reflect off the light. So great presentation on the band that we'll get to. A half paper sleeve at the bottom. And while we're lighting this up, I'll read a little bit of details as usual from Cigars International because it is a brand that they carry. Said Aganorsa Leaf, which was formerly known as Casa Fernandez. If you've ever heard that name, they're one and the same. This blend has not changed a single time since it was originally introduced as the Casa Fernandez Aniversario Cuba 109 Maduro. That's a mouthful. Now just the Aganorsa Leaf Aniversario Maduro. Does have a Maduro wrapper. The company's shade-grown Corojo leaf should have a medium to full body profile with expected notes similar to black pepper, earthwood, and possibly a subtle sweetness. Um, Anybody that has not smoked anything from Aganorsa, they are renowned for a lot of their quality control, similar to the things that we often say about Davidoff and Fuente and those type of places that they're just highly consistent. And their leaf ends up in a lot of blends, even if their name's not on the band. So people use their product in general. So expecting this one to have a good burn, but you know what? This is still a review show and a talk show. So we are going to see what happens.
yeah, I think they're the second or at least top five tobacco supplier for all cigars.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many. If you hear a list of names, which I can't rattle off, but people they source tobacco to, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's like when we had James Garcia on, and I forget which one we were all smoking at the time, but I think it was his show. It was either him or Kevin. I don't want to misquote. One of the two of them, we got to talking a little bit about tobacco product and mentioned, that Aganorsa stuff is in a lot of blends.
Yeah. Well, on that show, we were on the show with James. We were all just smoking whatever.
Right.
So,
I'm
but
trying to remember.
we may have touched on it. I don't remember. I think it was.
He just came out with a Lancero by Aganorsa special blend just for BL Luxuries.
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw
really?
that.
So, yeah, Aganorsa Lancero exclusive.
I know we were all over the topic book on that show because that wasn't a review show. We were just talking with the homies. So, you know what? I had the Las Calaveras, so it wasn't me. I don't remember if one of us had. No, because you had the Apostate. Oh, that's right, because he had the signature leaf. That's what it was.
Yep.
That's how we got on Aganorsa.
The Supreme
Leaf. Sorry.
Yeah. This
My
is kind of a
apologies.
soft box press, huh?
It is.
Now, you've smoked this before, Pat?
Once. I've had a lot of Aganorsa, but I can only recall smoking this blend one single time. So, and I can't tell you when it was because I know it was before I started using the box pressed app because it is not anywhere in my stored ratings. So, been at least a couple years plus.
And I've smoked these quite often. I actually bought a box and traded you and Chad. That's how you guys have the cigar.
That is correct.
And these are phenomenal cigars.
Yeah, we Justin sent these to us, like he just said, for us to do this show. So I can't tell you the last time I actually had one. I just know it's been a while, and even if I don't remember something as a badass stick, if I can't tell you something negative, it usually means I enjoyed it and just don't remember the details.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm getting a little pepper right now out of the edge, though. Are you right off the hit? I'm getting some pepper.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. The first pretty good intense hit of pepper right off the bat for sure.
Pepper, leather, chocolate, right up front. Good smoke output.
How did you guys V-cut yours?
I did.
No, I did a straight cut with my new fancy knife cutter.
Oh yeah,
I forgot you had that.
That's cool.
That's the one you won in that raffle, right?
Yes, sir.
What? He said one.
Yeah, one.
So you haven't put your finger in there and tried it yet, have you?
No.
Well,
test it out.
No credibility then.
I saw a post the other day. I don't remember if it was on our page or not, or if it was on a different one, but somebody had put on there a cutter that's very similar to the same concept as the Lus Flame. Is that how you say that?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a pair of scissors that pull backwards and cut the same way.
Yeah,
which was pretty slick.
Because
it's not standard scissors like you and I have all seen, right? These pull backwards and it's more of a knife cut, if you will.
I know exactly what you're talking about. If I can find the image before I edit this, I will put this picture up here and overlay it because I can't tell you right now what it's called, but most scissors we have, like you said, are straight cut. And this one, I don't know how to describe this, but instead of, this light's going to bother. Instead of the cut coming down, it's like this one kind of slides back, so it's got a super clean cut. I don't know if that's the description, but
it's the first time I'd seen anything like that. It was pretty neat.
It was pretty neat to see, and I have no idea what brand or anything it was, but it looked pretty cool.
Those brass knuckle cutters are pretty cool. Have y'all seen those?
No.
They're a brass knuckle with a cigar cutter in the inside.
Yep.
So what type of cut do they provide? A straight cut or
straight cut? Yeah, straight cut.
I've not seen that. We'll have to put those up too.
Yeah, I'll put those up too. That's how you get away from brass knuckle laws, right? It's not brass knuckles; it's just a cigar tool.
Right.
Do you think they would be effective in the same way brass knuckles are, or are they built just for show?
They're technically for show. It's probably because I don't know, because technically if you put the same alloy that you have in a brass knuckle in those, I imagine the price might have to go up a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on the makeup of those.
I'm pretty sure they can charge more for a cutter than they can for brass knuckles. So
they can.
I'm just asking.
They run like $150 a pop.
Right.
What, for the brass knuckle cutter?
Yeah.
Oh, see?
So, but I know some of it's just because of what it is. So I don't know if it's actually got solid alloy or brass construction or not. Never looked that far into it.
Now we're gonna have to find out.
I'm gonna have to do some digging. But yeah, I'll post some of those. Well, hopefully they've already been posted up here. Let everybody see what we're talking about because I can't think of the brand of that other one, but it was a pretty cool thing.
I saw it on Cigars Daily, maybe. Might have been one of the bigger sites.
The only like some sort of scissor uh, pen contraption that I think is cooler, and I don't know if I'll ever own is the one that Kirby Allison has on his site. I don't know if have y'all seen that one. It looks like a big pneumatic staple gun, but I don't even know how to describe this. I'll have to send y'all a picture when we're done and post this. You
Yeah, I
have
haven't
Pair
seen
of
that.
scissors.
no, I don't. Man, I don't even know. Think of like the pull that you have from like a staple gun almost, but it is a pair of scissors, but it's got extra gears. So you put the cutter in the end, and it is the cleanest cut, but just the super sliver. Like if we try to do with a straight cut by hand without a backstop, a lot of times you'll slip and it'll rip, or you won't get enough. You put it in there and it gets like the perfect cut every time, but it is incredibly expensive because of the mechanism and the metal that's used to get such a tight cut.
Mm.
I don't know if I'll
Interesting.
ever own one just because they're expensive, but it should come to no surprise that I saw him use it for the first time in the Davidoff lounge. So if you're in that world of things, you're already there, I suppose.
I was actually just watching those videos prior to doing this. I was watching them all day long.
The
He's
Davidoff. Oh,
Yeah, the Kirby and him in the Davidoff Lounge in London.
they're so
Those
easy to
videos are
listen
great.
to. A lot of guys that are chill or just can tend to get too monotone if you're trying to be too calm. And somehow they're calm but still incredibly interesting. So I listen to them quite frequently. Even some of the videos I've seen before, I'll go back and watch again just because.
Yeah, they're bougie, but I like it.
Definitely learned some things from them.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I lit up with a soft flame for that very
Yeah.
reason. I mean, I've been doing soft flame lately, but
man, I
Oh
just
yeah,
don't
because
have the
that torch.
patience for that.
it's the whole thing though. You wanna have the ritual nice and slow and enjoy the process, but
If I'm smoking a Cuban, um, I will try to do more of a soft flame or a match just because I know a lot of times the wrappers in tobacco is a little bit more brittle to a torch than the New World tobacco is. So I'll try to purposely do that. The one exception, of course, as I've said 100 times on the cruise ship, that's not happening. But outside of
Yeah.
that,
no, not at all.
just throw that out there. But any other time, if I'm at home or whatever, I'll do my best to, pull out a match. Especially, I'll do it every once in a while for nostalgia. But if I'm hitting a Cuban, I'm doing my best to light it with a match so it doesn't char the end, just because it's a little bit more prone to burn than the
If I'm running
Dominican.
early in the morning to work, I'll do a match because there's a little wind inside the truck. But even at lounges, it's hard to do matches or cedar spills or stuff like
It
that
is.
because the ventilation's so good, which I appreciate. But at the same time, you can't do a soft flame or a match to light.
Almost
I've
put
been
your
in
match
one.
out.
Yeah. The home lounge I go to in Longview is very surprising because they've got rabbit air in each corner, so there's 4 rabbit airs, and then they've also got a power boost HVAC or HVAC. It is some of the cleanest lounge I've ever been to, and somehow there's not a cross draft anywhere, so I can kind of get away with soft flame in there. Um, I don't know how; it makes no sense to me, but every other lounge I've been to, I've had issues trying to pull that off.
Yeah, because Cigars International by the house, all their ventilation is way up high, and
Yep,
they have high ceilings, so it's very windy, I guess you would call it. The air is circulating quite well through it. So even
like a
with a
mini, like a mini
e-
tornado in there.
yeah, even with a butane torch, it still struggles. But it is what it's. That's what I like about underground in Fort Worth is that they have a switch where they'll turn on and off the ventilation. So if it gets too smoky, they'll flip the switch. It'll suck all the air out. and they'll turn it right back off, and it's like butter.
And
It's
my
amazing.
lounge is similar. It doesn't have an on and off, but it kind of goes into like eco mode. And then if it starts getting too smoky, one of us can go over there and pop it, and it'll for the next like 10 minutes or whatever, it'll suck it out, and then it'll go back down.
Yeah, I like having those manual switches. That's nice.
It's nice. Which is
Yeah, the
great when you have
small,
events around and you got a whole lot of people in the one space at a time.
the smaller lounge by me, it's their ventilation system is loud, so they'll turn it on periodically. But like you'll sit in there and it'll get smoky, and then they'll flick it on and suck all the smoke out. But it's so loud, you don't want to sit there and listen to it the whole time. You're
Oh
sitting in
yeah.
there chilling, you know.
I need to ask the guys over here what exhaust system they use because when they turn it on, you hear it for like 2 seconds and it's gone. You basically just hear the kick up, the whirl up, and then it disappears. You never hear it again. So I don't know, but hey, that matters. We talked
I
about.
really like the band on this cigar, though.
I do. It
It's
is.
a pretty cigar. Even the
It is.
paper we took off is very nice,
Right?
delicate.
I'm trying to get it to focus. There we go.
There it goes. Oh, that's a
That's
good
a
shot right there.
nice, good band.
Hey, do you still have the paper handy since yours is focusing up, or
Yeah.
because it was? I know it's just paper, but it's not just paper. It's even got the logo embossed or laser
Yeah,
printed, however they did that.
it's like a wax paper kind of.
There
Yeah, I'm
you
not
go.
sure if it's a wax paper but that's what it feels like to me. What I
Yeah,
think
like in my brain, I look at it and go, yeah, it feels like wax, but you're probably right. It's some other name, but closest thing I can equate it to is like a wax paper, but there's no
Right.
wax on it. You're right. So
so instead of having that, instead of having like a cedar sleeve or whatever, it's got a. I don't know. I just like the look and feel of it a little different. I don't know why, but I do.
Yeah, I even save those
Got
little
an
pieces
elegance
for
to it.
my band bag that I'm saving. I throw those in there.
it's definitely sexy when you go into a shop and you see it sitting there. It kind of,
Oh yeah.
jumps right out at you because it's pretty.
Yeah, they do all three Aniversario blends that way. The Connecticut, the Maduro, and the Corojo. They all have that nice little white
The one I haven't
band.
had is the Connecticut that I have one of because, as y'all have learned, I made a comment about not having it, and somebody may have just happened to buy me one of them. So
Grace
uh,
on.
that would be the one. So
Sometimes that's happened before people have sent you something too. So I didn't. I just
that
want to
is
make sure. I wanted to clarify.
okay. That is fair. That is fair. I can't argue that. But yeah,
Yeah,
this
that's
was.
a good Connecticut for sure.
I've got it up. I'm trying to decide because I'm just a few weeks out from that cruise, so I'm trying to decide which ones I'm going to smoke now, which ones I'm going to purposely take to give me a run of, a slew of good sticks for 2 weeks. So I may take
I
that.
would smoke that one at home because if you smoke it too fast or it gets wonky, it tends to throw off the flavor. It's a nice
Noted.
Connecticut, but it is a delicate Connecticut.
What did you
Noted.
say the other one was? A Corojo?
Yeah,
Corojo.
that's my favorite Corojo, hands down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which you've had, Chad? Have you had the what is the other Aganorsa Corojo? The more core,
Validation.
the Validation. Have you had that one, Chad?
Nope. I've had the Supreme Leaf, which I really like. I've had a few different Vitola in that.
Yeah,
I haven't
I
had a
got a
ton of
box of those.
Aganorsa. Had the Guardian. That's the one with the little dog on it. And that Aganorsa too.
Guardian of the Farm. Yep.
Yep. I've had that
may,
one. A couple other ones, but I haven't smoked a ton of Aganorsa.
I've got, I know I've got a couple of the Validation Corojos left. I'll throw into the bag because I know I need to send you a couple things for unrelated purposes. I'll throw that in there and let you try it.
Chad, you've smoked that Cerberus Calibra
Yep. I've smoked
and
the Cerberus
then
too, just in a regular
Cerberus.
by
Vitola.
itself. Yeah, that's a
Yep.
great cigar too. And then I'm pretty sure I gave you Fallen Angel of Fort Worth, that NFG exclusive with the
Smoked
closed foot.
two of those
Yep.
because those were unbanded, weren't they?
Yeah, unbanded,
Yeah.
closed foot. Yep.
I think you gave me like three of those. Like there was a pack or something, maybe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've smoked at least two of those. And that was a really good cigar.
Yeah, I've got two of those left. They'll be a year old soon.
I think I've
his-
smoked quite a few Aganorsa. I just don't like. if you go back through the years, it's not a brand that I smoke a lot of, but I've smoked one here, one there, and every one of them's been great. Like, never had any issues with them. Or
It's
Justin,
not Puente.
well,
Justin, do
for
you
me,
know? And if you don't, I can Google real quick. Do you know where the time frame was when the Aganorsa Leaf brand took over from Casa Fernandez? Do you have any idea, like where
I
it
do
happened?
not know off the top of my head.
for me, the one cigar that I've smoked from them that sticks out in my brain like Fuente is that Supreme Rare Leaf. It is so
Yeah,
good.
that's a good one. I have the little short Rothschild ones. Those are fantastic.
That's a
Um,
really good blend.
they make a Perfecto, or they're coming out with a Perfecto. They came out with a Salomon. They come out with a Robusto. They're all good. Very pepper forward and then smooths off.
Yeah, this is really starting to smooth out because I can. When I first retroed it, it burned my eyes a little bit. It's a lot more gentle on my nostrils now.
Okay, let's see. I may have to ask because we plan on bringing Terrence Riley on the show once we can get scheduled. But if
Looking
I am
forward to
reading
that.
this correctly, 2018 is when Casa Fernandez changed its name to Aganorsa Leaf. So there may be some cigars you've had, Chad, just not linking them in your brain because of the name change. I know that you said you hadn't had the Lunatics yet. I don't know if you've had any of the JFRs or the Guardian of the Farm.
I've had the
So,
Guardian of the Farm. I've
so
had a
even though
couple
they're
of those.
technically a different brand, they're under the same
Hmm.
wheelhouse. So that gives you, an idea of how they smoke too.
You've had Warp cigars, right, Chad?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure those are made with Aganorsa Leaf.
Okay. Yeah, and that's one
Yeah,
of the companies I think I had heard that about. Warped
yeah, yeah,
uses a lot of Aganorsa tobacco. I've smoked a
yeah.
lot of
And
Warped.
they used to make the El Wawense, but then my father took over that blend, and now they make the Wise Man. But the El
They,
Wawense Corojo was fantastic when it first came out.
yeah, they made both versions, right? The Maduro and the Corojo.
Yes, and then
El
they switched.
Wense is the wise man, right?
Right, El Wawense, yeah, exactly. El
Yep.
Wawense is the old name that was made by Aganorsa. Then they changed it to the English name, the Wise Man, with
Hmm.
my father tobacco.
So here's a fun tip. I've never known where Aganorsa came from, like the name. Said according to us, and this is off of Cigar Aficionado, just where Google took me. According to his statement, the name change and the new logo were designed to align the company more closely with the Fernandez family tobacco growing operation in Nicaragua. If I pronounce this correctly, is Agricola Ganadera Norteña SA. And if you take the first two letters of each one of those, it spells Aganorsa.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Nor did I.
That's kind of cool because we
Good
like
little.
nerdy stuff around here. So I had no idea about that at all. So that's kind of cool. So Aganorsa's usually cigar brands, it's kind of got like it's a last name of somebody that created or something. That one's just kind of a tweak on the family's farm, if you will.
Yeah, it's
That's
good info to know. That's nice.
that's kind of cool. But I won't dig too deep into it because like I said, there'll be a time that Mr. Riley's on the show. We can ask him some fun questions about the operation, about the brand. So I won't steal that thunder. But yeah, Chad, if you even without that rabbit hole, even if you haven't had as much of the brand, you've good chance you probably had some before the brand took over, and you just didn't know the link because I didn't know the link. I didn't know that those two were the same until a couple years ago. So I missed all of that completely.
Yeah, I know for sure I haven't smoked any JFR. I always see it, but I was like, I don't think I've
Well,
tried any. I have never tried like the Lunatic series or any of those.
Those are good. The Maduros.
I've got I've got the and I know they've got like 18 sizes of them or something, but I've got one of the lunatics that's probably it's not it's pretty close to. Have you seen Drew Estate's Laraton, the egg? It's like this.
Yeah.
It's not quite that drastic, but it's a pretty. It's like a 6 by 80 or 5 by 80 or something like that. So I got it just to see how it smokes. I haven't smoked it yet, and
You
just
referenced that guy I saw at TPE that was at the Aganorsa or JRE, I guess, booth, and he smokes two of those 100 by 10s, I think they are. Is that what they are?
Jesus.
yep.
10 by 100 lunatics, which I can't imagine smoking one of those or it being enjoyable in any way. Like, I don't know how you would do that.
I'd have to do that while I'm like camping or something, because
That's just
that's
so
gonna
much
take you a
cigar.
long time.
Well,
I don't
you
know.
know, I had
Maybe I should do it just to try it because I want to see what it's like. Because I feel like it'd just be too much tobacco. Like,
I want to do it
too,
just to say I've done it, and it's only a $40
right.
cigar, and it's I think that quote me wrong, it's a whole tobacco plant, or not like tobacco plant, like
The
it's
leave
a
worth
whole,
of it.
yeah, a leaf worth it in one cigar.
really?
And, well, you think about this, Chad, and this was, I can't take credit for this. I can't tell you who told me this, but we think of it as a lot of cigar. But how many times do we smoke 5 cigars in a row on a day that we're off or hanging out at home?
I already have today.
Right. So we're technically smoking that much cigar in a time anyway. It's just in this case, it's going to be the same tobacco in that short time frame. So time
I
wise
just
and
like
tobacco,
volume is the thing that's
right?
concerns me. Like, I don't know. It just seems odd.
I don't know. So
I'll
we'll
give her a whirl. We should do it on
the
the show. Let's do it on the show one time.
that'd be like
Well,
a
we should do
4 hour show. Hey,
that.
We need a 3-part miniseries.
hey, the first time we take one of our virtual herfs live, we should just all smoke one of that and be like, hey, the herf is done when we're done,
Yeah,
whenever that is.
that would be
Well,
a long smoke.
the other day I got off at like quarter to midnight, and you guys, well, it would have been 10:45 your time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we shut it off Central Time around 11:30, and we started right at 7 Central. So it was a 4.5 hour herf session that people were in and out. There was a few that stayed the whole time. Couple came, couple left. It was dope.
yeah, it was a good time. How's y'all's ash holding up? Mine's holding up pretty good.
I ashed halfway down, but
I
what I
bumped
have left
mine.
is good. But
Yeah, it's a good ash right there.
I knocked mine off. I didn't want to wear it.
Oh, come on now.
Profile has been pretty consistent though. Not a lot
it
of
is.
change, but super cocoa, coffee, and woodsy. It's a really good stick.
Yeah, I
That's
get espresso, leather, earth, chocolate, some kind of slight sweetness. I don't want to say vanilla, but kind of close to it.
I get the sweetness on my lips, but it's not really coming into the smoke profile for me. Profile for me is staying true of the chocolate leathery mix. But the sweetness for me is just staying on the front of my lips. It's
I'm
not
gonna see how long I can go with this ash, even if I have
do
to
it
ash
'cause
on myself.
I just asked again, but y'all know I'm always nervous about completely. I don't care about covering me. I just don't want to cover the equipment in front of me. So
All right, hold it up, Justin, so when it falls, we can slow mo it. No, I mean you just while you're sitting here smoking, make sure it's
all right, so
in camera view.
So the next 30 minutes of the show is just going to be Justin.
So it's just him. That'll make it break off quick if you start hitting it. It gets hot, it'll
Yeah.
snap off. If you
I'll
slow
snap
puff,
you
it'll
off.
stay on longer. It'll stay on longer if you slow puff
I'll snap you off.
it.
But where are you at? Because I don't mine shifted down a little bit, but I'm getting to the secondary band a little
Yeah, I'm
bit.
almost there.
Okay, probably if I push my band back up, I'm not too far.
I'm smoking mine pretty fast.
Yeah,
I got a little run in it, probably because I'm not being so nice to it. I'm hitting it
What are
pretty
you guys? What are you guys pairing it with? I'm having a chocolate covered cherry old fashioned. I found a recipe
how did
online.
we pull this off that we're 30 minutes into a show and we forgot to ask this question? We are
23 flavors.
I saw you.
23 flavors.
I'm right there with you as well. I got the 23 flavors.
There you go.
I almost did,
Double
but
fisting it.
I pulled out this. Set it down here. It's not an expensive one, but it's one of the good ones. If this won't reflect off the light, Ezra. Well, that's going to reflect off the light. Ezra Brooks 99. Just a straight Kentucky bourbon. Nothing crazy, but good and bold. It it's probably not my favorite pairing with a cigar. I think Four Roses for me is probably still my favorite palate pairing, but it's another good one.
And the over and under is 3 tokes. That's the over and under when that snaps off. Three
Yeah.
tokes.
Yeah, my old fashioned is made with Buffalo Trace, but it's cherry cherry syrup, uh, chocolate bitters, not Aganorsa bitters, however you say it, the bitters, and then
Lots of bitters.
whiskey.
Tobacco
Aganorsa makes
bitters.
bitters too.
Yeah, tobacco bitters.
Like, what are you having with your Aganorsa cigar? Aganorsa? No. Like, what are
Yep,
you drinking? Aganorsa.
Aganorsa bitters.
It is
They
taking
make
over the whole palate world right now.
they make those.
My man, I don't know what my favorite old fashioned is. I've got some in there. I got some pre-made with Bullet. That's actually pretty good for a pre-made when I'm being lazy and don't want to mix anything whatsoever.
Is the
Um,
bullet rye or regular?
it's the orange label. I get them mixed up. Whichever
I
one's
think that
orange.
I think
I
that's the
think that's
regular one.
I think it's the
Yeah,
original one.
yeah. I like both. I prefer the rye as far as making it with an old fashioned.
Um, I will have to try to talk it out of them, but there is a closer to you. And for the purpose of this, I will not disclose too much on online. Chad will tell you off the air, but there is a speakeasy in Fort Worth that is fantastic. It's not a secret, but it's kind of a hidden gem. But the mixologist that's in there, um, every time I tell him to make me a old fashioned, I just tell him to do it with your favorite rye. I have no idea what it is yet, but it is fantastic. And I'm usually not a big rye drinker. I need to try to squeeze out of him what he actually makes it with and which rye makes it with.
Does the place start with a T?
It does not.
Oh, okay.
It is behind a. It is literally behind a restaurant. You have a hidden door, but you can also go through the waiting or the dining hall of a restaurant to get to it.
Oh, you'll have to tell me.
Yeah, if you don't know that one, I'll tell you. 'Cause,
And is it just a speakeasy or can you smoke there?
it's just a speakeasy.
Oh, okay. The one that I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about. It's called Thompson's Bookstore.
I know
That
about it. Have not been to it.
I haven't been to it either, but I've heard it's a good thing. It's got like 3 or 4 levels, like stories, and like bottom one's just a regular bar. The top floor is the cigar lounge, and I think somewhere in between is the speakeasy.
I didn't realize it was. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
a small vertical building in downtown. But like I said,
part of Thompson Cigar?
no, it's not a part of them.
Okay.
Completely different.
Okay.
But they have a speakeasy, and then they have a cigar lounge at the very top, which is pretty cool.
I have to check that one out because I didn't realize it was split like that. That's just kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's another one that's allegedly newer that's on the Dallas side. That's Addison that I think is I think it's just a regular speakeasy too. But Fort Worth's kind of got the, I guess we'll say, higher end of things in a lot of places. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Chad, do y'all have any like speakeasies up there, or is that? I know they're kind of far
Well,
in between, but
maybe over in like the Detroit area, but not where I'm at.
You're asking the
It's
wrong
pre-
guy.
it's
I
pretty,
know.
yeah. Well,
I
I
know
would
he doesn't
know,
drink
but
anymore,
like
but
where I live, it's pretty boring. There's not a whole lot going on. We don't have a lot of cool stuff you guys have down there.
He only has cool stuff, which is an hour away, and that's Secreto.
right.
Yeah, yeah. I think over in that area you probably could find some things like that, but I
Which
don't know about them offhand.
I will make it a point to come up there and visit you. I love Michigan. Michigan's awesome.
That's
I'll probably have to sneak in a smallmouth fishing trip while I'm up there.
There you go. I'll go with you. I don't know anything about fishing, but you can teach me.
We can get
I
a
go
guide,
out
make it
as long as
easy.
you got gear. As long as you got gear, I'll go along for the ride and throw a
It's
pole in the water.
always
It's still
still
going strong.
still going strong. Yeah, I love the water. Y'all know I love scuba diving. I'm not. I have almost no interest in fishing, but I've gone with buddies all the time. I was like, I will go with you. I will go in the water and I'll just relax. You can fish all you want.
I love fishing. I just don't. I'm not a fisherman, right? But I love
Right.
fishing. I go out with my buddies. They'll take me out, set me all up, put me in the boat. I love it. Do I
You
know the
guys,
first thing about it? Not really.
you
And
guys know I'm a big fisherman.
oh yeah,
That's
Yeah,
no
oh yeah,
that's no secret.
the
yeah.
irony about them,
Walleye fishing is fantastic up here.
I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to do that and ice fishing too. That seems fun.
Yeah, that's where I get off. No bueno. You're cold. That equates to you being cold. I'm not in.
mm,
There's a movie called Harold and Kumar, and he's talking about ice fishing. He's like, "You ever been ice fishing? It's fucking exhilarating." Fucking just gets me every time.
and what's ironic for me is I spent pretty much my entire college years working for the American Bass Anglers, going across the country helping to put on bass fishing tournaments. I
Really?
know I know about it. I would
That's
set up
funny.
help. I wasn't the director, but I was kind of the media guy. So I would set up, all the live stuff. I would set up the scales. We'd set up everything. I was the one when they were in line. I was bumping the fish. So I was the one actually making sure that they were alive and all that stuff before we weighed them. So like I touched thousands of fish a weekend. I could talk to you about it. I could talk to you about different baits and weights and different times of year and spawning. I could talk to you about it all day long. But put a fishing rod in my hand, I'm not gonna. It's just like I lose my interest. I guess all my interest is like the information part of it. I just don't want to do it myself. It's absolutely weird.
So you were the guy that made sure they didn't have any extra weights in their bellies or
Oh
Yep,
man,
anything like
making
that.
that
sure that
fiasco.
you didn't have any extra weights. Had also determined if the fish were dead or alive because that goes against your score as well. So and depending on what lake we were at, if it had like a slot limit, I'd have to measure them and determine if they were legal for that lake. Because if they weren't, also it got taken out and it was a penalty. So I was the guy doing all the checks and balances. So the guy on stage did the presentation, got up there, weighed it, made it look good. All the back information was done before they got on stage. So he just pulled it up on his screen and here's the info.
That's pretty cool, Pat. I didn't know that.
I didn't either. And the
It was
fact that
cool.
you don't like to fish and you hung around that world for that long is crazy.
Hey,
And what's crazy is
that asphalt is holding pretty good. I took both bands off, took that one off, and put that one back on, and it's still holding.
dang. Yeah, when I had
That's stacking dimes. It's good.
the regional director for down here, when we'd known each other for years, we'd worked at a dealership before, both veterans, and he asked me, he's like, "Hey man, I need a computer guy, but I need somebody to come run these fishing tournaments with me." I was like, "Nope." He's like, "You don't want to talk about it?" Like, I don't fish. He's like, "Whatever." And a few times down, he needed somebody. He's like, "Dude, I really need somebody that understands computers because there is some computer setup and local network linking. Because everything I just told you, I'm telling to somebody sitting off to me, and he or she's typing to the computer. So when he gets on stage, he hits next, and all that data is there. So there was some computer stuff, and he's like, I just need a tech guy. If you hate it, you can quit. And then I did it for like 4 years. So, it turned out
Perfect.
that I really enjoyed it, even though I don't like fishing myself. And I was at the national tournaments for a while. I was the one going to do interviews for these guys. So when they won, we had the story that went online and went into the magazines, and I'm asking them all these questions, and I was able to have full conversations. I knew exactly what they were talking about, like I was out there on the boat, but I wasn't. It's weird. I
No, you
always
know
had
your
people
stuff.
laugh
That's
at
good.
me.
I like that though.
I always had people laugh at
You
me
know
when
the
I
ins
told
and
them I
outs,
didn't
but you
fish.
don't fish. That's
Right?
good stuff.
So if you could mix me and Pat together, we'd be a fisherman. Because
Yeah.
I love to fish. I'll do it anytime I get the chance. He doesn't want to, but he knows enough about it. Put us together, we'd make one fisherman.
It
Yep.
would be me, because I know
Right.
everything there is to know, and I love to fish.
When did you start fishing?
When I was a little kid, and then I fell out of it being in my teenage years doing stupid shit. And then actually, when I got engaged with my wife, I had a bachelor party, and I don't do the gentlemen's clubs. I don't do the bars, anything like that. I was like, what do? I go fishing. I go out. I'm outdoors. So I took all my buddies to that Blue River place in Oklahoma. We went trout fishing. And that just ignited my fishing bug again. And now I
Yeah.
have, like, I'm looking in my garage over there. I've got like 50 rods and reels. Like, I shit you not, 50 rods and reels. And I have a 12-foot kayak with a, trolling motor on it that's got spot lock on it, just like a bass boat. Like, I'll
Mm-hmm.
be on the water with my kayak and press spot lock on a point, and there'll be other bass boats around and they don't have spot lock. So they're drifting around the point trying to fish it because they can't sit still without having to drop anchor. And mine just sits right there. It's like a little mini bass boat. I'm highly obsessed with things that I like, with
You
cigars,
see
with
those
fishing, and
guys. You see those guys in the kayaks. Have you seen the recent one where the one guy got swallowed by a whale?
Oh
oh
The
no,
yeah,
footage.
I didn't.
I've seen the
It's
one where it got swallowed by a whale. There's tiger sharks. There's great white sharks. I don't do the ocean. I'm
Yeah,
not about that
kayak
life.
in the ocean? No way, man. You
No,
have.
that's
I
not
watched
me
this
either.
one the other day. This guy was in New Zealand or something, and he's out there fishing in a kayak, and next thing you know, there's a shark chasing him. I mean, like, how you win that battle? You don't. He
Yeah,
decides he wants to eat you. You're done.
the one that got me the most was the kayak in Hawaii, and a tiger shark literally almost jumped in the boat with him. And I'm like, and he had his foot dangling out. I'm like, nope, I'm out.
All right,
I need
Justin,
a.
I'm pulling one of your moves. If you can see it.
Oh,
Well,
there you go.
that's my move.
I was about to say that's Chad's move.
That's my
I
move.
got that. I got that from Chad.
Oh, that's
The
right. You did
ring.
steal that from Chad, didn't you? My bad.
I
Yep.
started doing it with all the ADV bands because they're metal, and so I
Credit
like was wearing
misapplied.
like a ring, and then that's really the only one I do it with is the ADV bands because they're metal.
Unless it's an Explorer band, because that's definitely not metal.
And it's not metal,
Not metal.
but it
I
is
was
box
so
pressed.
sure. I
But
was
it
so
is
sure it
box
was
pressed.
metal.
I was
Hey,
sure it
It is.
wasn't box pressed.
Yep.
Confidence takes you a long way, my brother.
Hmm.
Fake it till
Yep,
you make it.
yep. Just own it, man. That's all you got to do. Own it.
That is
Yeah, that,
pretty good.
that is incredible. And you haven't ashed it a single time yet, right? That's still
Not
the
a
original.
single time. Soft light,
Got a little Peronis going on there, though.
Yeah,
little crooked. It's gonna go soon, but you'll get a good slow mo of me ashing the shit out of myself.
right.
Mm, I was gonna say right now.
That would have been perfect timing.
That would have been.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh,
Hold on, let's see. Hold on. See if I can pick it up. Look at
nah,
that. That's
man,
awesome.
The fact it stays in one piece says a lot too.
it does. Right as we change the cameras, that is incredible timing.
So did you get it? Like on the main
Oh,
camera?
like,
You
oh,
should
we
see the
got it.
mess. Let's see.
It's,
Ah!
nobody wants to see that.
Don't lie, Chad. You want to see all of it.
Well, Justin lost his ass, so he's off the show. Goodbye.
Good talk. Good talking to you, buddy.
Good talking to see you next time, buddy. No,
Bring him back.
bro,
Yeah,
we'll
we got
bring
a
it
few
back.
more minutes left. We'll bring him back on.
He gave us the cigars. We're obligated.
Just this once. It's a very, very rare occasion. I don't have quite the inventory you guys have, as we talked about on the Herf. I still can't believe Gil has 15,000 cigars. That
Dude.
blew my mind.
Like
I didn't know he had that many. I knew he had a lot, and I was gonna guess 7 to 10,000 even because I know how much he buys.
He said,
But
nope, double it.
15,000.
You know, I used to keep around the like 500 because y'all know my rotation thing, but I'm closer to, you know, the 1500 is kind of where I've been sitting the last, year or two, just pretty much become a steady number in and out. But when he said he had a lot more than that, my mind was, oh, he's probably got like 5, because that's a big jump. And he's just like, nope. And whoever it was that said 7 to 10, he's like, double it. What?
Yeah.
He's like, I have at least 12, but I haven't counted, so it's probably closer to 15,000.
Well, if I showed you just
Dude.
the picture he sent me, because remember we were on the Herf, and he's like, I sent you a picture, Chad. And I
Right?
tried to show it to you, but it was this chest that he has, and it's stacked, and I'm not kidding, at least 7 to 10 boxes high and probably 5 or 6 across, 2 deep. So it's got to be
Goodness.
10 times 7 to 10. So it's 70 to 100 boxes in this one chest, and it's all Dunbarton. Every box is Dunbarton.
That's
I'll send you guys
insane.
the picture. I told Pat I was gonna, and I forgot.
So,
But
no, Dunbarton has some 10s. They have some Baker's dozens, 13s. But even if you just round down to the 10, what, quick math, that's probably 7,000 cigars in that chest?
That's
yeah,
My
but
nuts.
math,
it's at least 5,000. I mean, if
something like that, depending on exactly how many boxes he's got in there. That's
yeah,
insane.
if you called it 100 times 100, that'd be 10,000. So it's probably more like 70 boxes times 13.
I'm
So
gonna have to hit
yeah,
him up for some boxes of Golden Child
yeah,
and Dharma Derma.
he would sell you one. I think you just have to
Probably a
get
little
him on the
markup,
right
but that's
day.
fine.
Yeah, he ain't looking to make money on him. He's a great dude.
Give you
Yeah,
an
he made me laugh a bunch. He's a good dude. And you were hanging out with Bill? Was that the same Bill that was on the Herf?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill was my friend from here, and he moved down south. But he's recently been back up here a few times. His son is a bowler, and he comes up to watch him on his college team. So he's been local. He's had to come back up here to watch his son. So
I
when he's in
immediately just
town,
thought I
he has
immediately just thought
family
of
here. So
Kingpin.
yeah. So his family here, so he'll come up for the weekend, do that, and then he'll always hit me up, and we'll get a smoke together. So
Hey, I want to interject for a minute because this is something we've talked about before. So, with it being a Robusto, I guess technically we're in the final third now. This is where cigars can kind of start showing their failure point, right? So I don't know if y'all are doing this or not, but my entire last 2 inches to the touch is incredibly hot. Normally, that would mean, and it doesn't look like I know I'm smoking it a little fast, but I don't feel like I'm smoking it too fast because I'm still having good ash and burn. But normally, when you start getting this hot, you start getting bitter tones because the tobacco's burning at too high of a temperature, right? I'm feeling the heat, but I'm feeling absolutely no change in the flavor. Like I'm not getting any harshness or bitterness like I
no,
tend to get in some budget sticks or whatever when it starts getting hot. So that that's an
That speaks
attribution to,
volumes on the brand.
yeah. I'm trying to pull the word out of my tongue, but that shows the quality of the product, the base product, because it's even with the temperature, it's still withstanding and holding its profile for me.
Yeah, I've
yeah, and
got a
I've
little bit
smoked
more than
mine pretty
y'all,
fast. See how fast
but
I've smoked
like
mine?
I can hold mine right here by the ash, and it's not hot at all.
Yeah, I didn't get it till I got to pretty much right here. The first time I reached down, it got hot, but it's not
Yeah, y'all
affecting
are
me at
y'all are
all.
a little bit smoking a little bit faster than me. For
Yeah.
once, I've changed up my smoking habits.
I think
Uh,
that's been 2 shows in a row that I've smoked faster than you,
Well,
which I've been smoking faster
part
recently.
of it is, with me and Chad both being in the tent, it gets, he's got his fan, I've got my purifiers in here, so it's not a crazy draft, but I think it's just enough to pull the smoke
Yeah,
out. It's getting a little bit of wind flow, so that's probably helping us smoke a little bit faster.
yeah,
Because when I'm down in I tend to be smoking a little bit faster. Now, last time was just on me. I was just smoking fast. I'm gonna call that like it is because I was out in the normal place. But usually, if I'm out there, I smoke a little bit slower than I do if I'm sitting in here in the tent. It matters, but it's still
yeah.
now. Speaking of profile, about the second half, that of course, we had the intense pepper hit that kind of backed off and blended in. My pepper is almost all but gone away. It's mostly just chocolate, leather, and maybe a little bit of something like a coffee note, maybe.
That's 100% what I have. I have nothing other than that. Those three things.
yeah,
The subtle
yeah.
sweetness that was early on is absolutely gone as well. I'm not getting any of that anymore.
I find it in the retro hill. So the pepper backed all the way off. I get the chocolate, the leather, the earth, the espresso, and then the sweetness is on the retro.
I haven't retroed since early on. Let me see if there's any. I get the pepper on the
I
retro.
love
I
the
still
cigar.
get the sweet.
It's like a spicy sweet.
I pick up the spice, but yeah, I'm gonna have to get some more of this one because I told you I've smoked it, but I didn't remember much about it. But it's a good blend. It's consistent.
I always get the same size. The box, well, I mean, they only come in a box press, but the Robusto size is what I always get.
See, it's
What
Don't
not
you
what
don't need
other
a long
sizes do
smoke.
they come in? Do they
I
come
think
in
they
like
come
a
in a Toro.
Toro?
Yeah, the Toro.
Just two sizes then?
Yeah, just two sizes. Yep.
there's
Oh,
three.
three?
So I just still have the page pulled up. You got this they call it a Grand Robusto. It's a 5 by 54. The Toro is a 6.3 by 52. And then a Grand Toro, which is just slightly under a Gordo, is a 6 by 58.
Mm.
Yeah, this is the Grand Robusto, the 54 by 5. That's what we all
And
have.
the price point, this one, they come in boxes of 10, so 140 a box, so 14 a piece. The Toro is 149, so right at just under 15. The Grand Toro is 153, so just over 15. So $14 to $15 a stick in that range.
I'd be interested to see what the Toro tastes like with it being a smaller ring gauge. But I
Right?
always love this size.
I smoke a lot more Robustos here lately. Wintertime, I think.
So I have
No,
a system lately. I bring Toros with me in the morning before work, and then I have a little case of cigar, little humidor, and I keep the Robustos in there because it's a shorter smoke.
we might all need to start smoking Robustos just so we can keep up our cigar count with Swoop.
Yeah, it's true.
It's hard keeping up with that guy.
Most of mine are Gordos and Toros. Of course, I get Gordos when I can, but I do have a lot of Toros from, the more I've been doing events and the swag bags because they tend to throw more Robustos and Toros than anything else. I got a lot of Toros mostly from the events and sampler packs, but I'll purposely buy some Toros. But if I have the choice on a personal selection, I'm gonna get Gordo mostly, um, if it's available. But I've got a lot of Toros from those events, so I've been Toros and Gordos is most of where I'm at. I got a few
Yeah,
Robustos scattered
most
in.
of my Robustos come from those grab bags that we always get. The Toros are all my box purchases. I just like that longer smoke.
Same.
When is the event?
NFG,
Yeah.
that's March 8th.
Oh,
By, by
same day that Got a Fire event is.
That's right. Yep.
yeah, by the time this airs, we will have attended it already. We just haven't made it quite yet.
What
So
time does your event start, Chad?
Well, it's still up in the air whether I'm going to go to it all day. I'm definitely going all day Friday to hang out with Gil because that's like the pre-party the day before. But my daughter, if she makes it to the States, which she did last year, that's also on March 8th.
Oh,
So I may end up there late that night, is what I'm guessing. So it's kind
ours
of up in
starts
the
at
air. But I'm
12.
going all day Friday to hang out with Gil. So if I don't
Well,
make it
you'll-
on Saturday, it'll make it on Saturday.
since this won't air until after the 8th, you'll have to let us know. So
Oh, for sure.
let us know if you made it and how she did.
Yeah, for sure. So I got my gymnast dad sweatshirt on. See?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even pay attention to what you were wearing today.
Pay, wait, clap, repeat. That's my job.
Hey, wait, clap. That's pretty accurate, actually. I like that.
Yeah, that's exactly.
What what all segments does she participate in?
She does all of them. So she'll compete in the all around. She qualified for the regional in all events. So she'll do bars, beam, floor, and vault, and then hopefully, like last year, she only qualified in two events. She qualified for bars and vault.
Okay.
So this year, we're hoping she qualifies for all, and then she can compete in the all-around competition for state too. But we'll see.
Number
She's a
time.
junior, so she got one more year after this year. So
Oh, so she made state last year, but she's still sophomore.
yeah, it was her first year doing high school gymnastics at all. She didn't
Oh,
do them
wow.
as a freshman. She's been in club gymnastics her whole life. So
Okay.
yeah, she transitioned from club to high school last year. I tried to get her to do it as a freshman and stop going to club because it costs so much. So it's like a car payment every month. I'm like, yeah, why don't you go into high school? She's like, no, I don't know those kids. But she's transitioned well, and now she loves it. She wishes she would have done it as a freshman, I'm sure, but one of those things, she was just nervous about it. So
And I saw a video, Facebook reel not too long ago that blew my mind. That was talking about as a parent the money that you expect to spend on a kid based on what sport they're in from kindergarten all the way up to high school graduation. And you know, basketball and football were down there, and then it was golf, and then it went into some like obscure. It was like um, some sports I hadn't even heard of, and then the wrestling. And the top two from that video was lacrosse and gymnastics, as there was just like this astronomical jump
yeah,
in cost that you would spend as a parent. And that's crazy because you think of all the gear and uniforms and that you have in some of those other sports. It's just the way that those events are set up. There's just a lot more money that's required out of them.
it's that, and then you're paying like when my daughter was in club, it's literally a car payment a month just for her training. So,
Mm.
Right.
and then you go to the events, you have to pay for those, you have to pay for hotels, you have to pay for food. So
Because it's not involved.
T-shirts, hats, all that.
everything. So I would say that for sure, like from the time she was on competitive team and club up until she transitioned to high school, it was 12 grand a year at least. Woo,
Yeah.
is what we
And
had
that was
into it.
similar. I think it said, if on that one was probably 150K for that entire school age period. I mean, it was
Yeah, I
pretty
would say
steep.
it's probably accurate.
If you
Hockey's got to be like that too, I would think. Like, especially
hockey
kind of
was on the
travel
list. I don't
hockey.
remember where it fell, but I know it was above your, for lack of a better term, your standard sports, which I know that's one of the big four in America, but I forget where it landed, but I feel like it was probably pretty high as well.
Yeah,
We were
it's
going to
good
get
though.
my son into something, but we have decided to hold back a few years and just let him be a kid. Don't have him on a schedule or anything like that. Just let him play video games and be outside and play with his toys until he gets a few years older, and then we'll put him into something.
I
Probably
Yeah,
remember.
jujitsu,
how old is
Oh,
he
boxing.
now?
He's 6. He'll be 7 in March.
I think I was 5. I think when they put me into soccer just to get me running in a somewhat controlled aspect. Did that for a couple of years. Then I did baseball for a couple of years. And then about
Ooh,
second grade, I was pretty much all in football, basketball, and did that until I had a bad concussion freshman year. Had to stop playing football, but I finished out with basketball until I graduated.
Is that where you're at right now, Chad? Good Lord.
that's all we got left.
I still got like quite a bit left.
I'm
Pat's
on
got his
number
on the
roll.
number.
Yep,
I don't have my number out here.
Well, I'm going to continue to smoke slow and keep this good habit up.
There you
absolutely.
go.
Hey, I will say this. Even with Justin learning to smoke slower, talking about this cigar, this is a Robusto, and it might be a 54 gauge, but it's still only 5 inches long. We're in almost an hour on smoke time, and we haven't finished it yet. So, good burn quality, I think, on all three of ours. Did y'all have any burn issues whatsoever? Because I did not.
No, not at all.
Mine waved a little bit, but it auto corrected. I didn't touch it up with a lighter.
Okay.
I noticed it was kind of running, but it wasn't terrible. It was a quarter inch or so, and then it came right back. So
I mean,
Mine did the same. I corrected it just because I'm OCD about it, but I didn't have to.
I normally do that, but when we're on the shows, I don't because I want to see. I want to give you the
see
true
what it'll
review
do.
of what it does. Because if you fix it, then you can't give anyone the right review. Like, hey, it went off crazy and it stayed off crazy. I need to be able to tell you that, right? So that's
Ear-
why I
ear-
don't touch them up. But any other time, I touch up because I'm the
Early
same
on
way.
in the show, I did not think about doing that, and I would correct everything. And now, if it gets out of control, then I'll correct it and we'll mention that. But I've
Yeah.
gotten better as we've gone along about actually letting the burn go down, so we can discuss that as well.
Yeah, I've had to hit them for sure. Like a couple of the reviews we've done, I've had to. to correct
Mm-hmm.
them, or they would have gone awry on me real fast.
Yeah,
But like
the
you said,
AVO
just mention it.
Classic, or I'm sorry,
For
AVO
Heritage.
Heritage. I had to touch that up quite a bit.
Didn't you have a tight draw on yours, or no? Or was
No,
your draw fine?
no, my
Just
draw was fine.
I
okay.
think I think he just had the burn issue. I think that was it.
Yep.
Well, this
That's a
is
cigar. I need to go smoke one up too. Actually, now that you brought that up, thank you.
yeah,
I'm gonna go grab one of those.
That
that's
good
when I
old
bought
shocky smoke.
Chalk.
that's when I bought the box of.
Me too.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
After we did our review, I went and bought a box.
Yep. I don't. They're Avos are good, but there's. I think that's the only one to date that I've actually bought a box of. The rest of them I'll go get 2 or 3 at a time and leave it alone. The Heritage is the only one that I bought the box of out of the Avos.
It's just super unique.
But man, talking about we were gonna. This is the first Aganorsa we brought on the show, I think, as well.
Yeah.
I don't think we brought either. I don't think we brought any of the sub brand. I mean, there's been some that have probably had Aganorsa in it, but as far as their brand or one of the sub brands, I think this might be the first one. We've talked about doing some others, just haven't done it yet. I know we've got the on the JFR side, we got the Lunatic Torch and waiting, but we haven't hit any of the others on the show yet. So good first hit because this is showing some definitely good quality on Aganorsa side and burn stayed true, flavor stayed
Is it
true.
Asylum sourced Aganorsa tobacco?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'll have to check. I do not know off the top of my head.
Yeah, and these were aging at least 5 months before I sent y'all some. So they've got some age on them.
So what we're
That's been here.
probably
I've had it for a couple
8
months for
months,
sure. Yeah.
7-8 months probably since Justin got him, something around that ballpark.
Yeah, around 7 months. I got it right after my son was born, so a little under 7 months.
Okay.
July, right?
Yeah, July 17th or July 11th was when he was born, and then I think I went to the event a little bit after that.
Okay. Well, good
Matter of fact, that's how I got this hat because I bought a box of Supreme and I bought a box of Maduros. I actually have 2 of these hats because I bought one with the box, and then of course I got in a raffle and I won something. You know, dude, I
You don't
swear,
buy
like
you
I
buy
went
every
ye
raffle ticket you get offered, don't you? You should.
Oh yeah, for sure. I
Hey,
for sure,
you
yeah.
know what? I'm gonna say this. So everybody that thought we were rigging our first giveaways for Justin, I need you to know everybody is rigging their giveaways for Justin. It is not just us. Okay?
He's the luckiest man alive.
I swear.
If I'm gonna enter in a raffle, I get my odds up when I do.
I
May
mean,
the
that's
odds ever be in your favor, gentlemen.
put extra
Right.
odds in. I mean, there is a value point in every raffle. You know, you spend extra to get in there, but without spending more than is required, you find that balance. It does give you better odds. It's just
Yep.
you've been on a string of luck, so ride it until you don't have it no more. You know.
I tell you, like, I don't ever win anything. And then as soon as I started winning the contest with the Hollow Down, Chad added me to a raffle
Yeah.
thing going on. And then I've only entered 5 times. I've won 3 of them.
Oh, so we were just your gateway drug. You're welcome.
That's right. Yeah. So now I've been winning them
Yeah.
constantly.
And you won Aganorsa hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I had to leave because the wife wasn't doing good. And the babies were being, a handful. And I told Terrence, I was like, hey, man, appreciate it, but I got to go. And I had raffle tickets, and I went up there the next day, and I'd won a hat.
Nice.
And I got, actually, now that I think about it, I won 2 hats and 2. Well, I bought a box, so I got a hat. Bought another box, I got a mug. And then I got in the raffle, and I won another hat and another mug. So I have 2 mugs and 2 hats.
Right on.
Well, gents, I guess we do have to wrap it up. I think Chad's done. I'm about done. Justin's not far behind us. He's got a little bit left because that is such a good burn line,
He's
dude.
got a half an hour left.
He's got half an hour left.
It's all right.
Chad,
I'll go in the backyard and finish it with the kids.
About to say, Chad, we can bust out a whole nother show, come back, and Justin still be smoking this puppy.
Right.
But no, another good conversation off the wall on a lot of things. Good introduction to Aganorsa line on the show. Definitely won't be the last among all of the massive selections we have to bring on the show. It's a never-ending project, which is kind of the fun point. So this specific cigar, the Aganorsa Leaf Aniversario Maduro. If you like bolder but you don't like harsh, good selection right here. Good to pick from.
Good description.
I think all three of us stayed pretty consistent. Not really much transition, but as the info said, this has been a blend that stayed around since before the name change. They haven't changed it. You don't change what's good. So
Yeah,
good luck.
no real transitions, but the flavor stayed consistent, which is what I like.
Solid flavor, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's always good when the number comes out. So getting everything you can.
facts.
Well, gents, another good show, good conversation, and back to being adults. Sad part of the show. So till next time, Hollow Down World. Y'all stay safe and hollow down.